6 years ago, this Sony cinema camera cost a little over $10,000. And today I just bought it for like a penny less than 5K. And that's insane to me. Guys, this is the Sony FX9. I'm just gonna walk you guys through. I'm gonna do a brain dump on why I got this. I've shot 4 documentaries in the last 90 days. And I shot those documentaries on everything from a Venice 2. Well, I didn't shoot it. My co-director and DP, he's a wizard of a cinematographer, Mike. He shot on the Venice, but it's a project we did. So I've shot projects from the Venice 2 all the way down to my Nikon Z8 Crasher, and then everything in between. So I'm gonna walk you guys through why I think this might be one of the greatest buys on the market today. You guys know, that I bring you great buys. So let's unpack it. Cue the intro. I hate that I just did that. That's the intro because this is so annoying. Guys, this channel, it's not my full-time channel. I am a full-time YouTuber in a totally different niche. This channel is out of the love for the passion of filmmaking and camera gear. So I don't have the time to make a really fancy intro. So if you would subscribe, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, we're about 700 off. Please, guys, throw your boy a bone. Help a human out today. All right, so let me read off the specs real quick. The fact that I'm out of breath is just so depressing. So let me read off the specs. I got them on my phone because I don't have the specs memorized, guys. I climbed through so many cameras, I just can't have everything memorized. So, sensor side. I know this much. This is a 6K full frame sensor. It's not open gate. What are the specs on the sensor? 3.5.7 by 18.8 millimeter imaging area. It's oversampled 4K from the full frame 6K sensor, and then we got the dual base ISO at 804,000. Sony 6 years ago. Sony that dual base was legit. I've shot on a lot of cameras that shoot RAW that have a dual base. Like for example, my Nikon Z8, it shoots 8K RAW internal 12-bit, which is insane. And it has the same dual base ISO, 804K. I've shot everything from bright sun all the way down to dark areas. That's a great dual base number. Everything in between gets pretty noisy, but that's a conversation for a different day. Imaging quality, according to Sony at the time of release, up to 15 stops dynamic range. It's got the S-Cinetone, S-Log. I used to shoot Sony. I was a Sony fanboy for years. I moved out of the Sony ecosystem. This video exists because I'm going back into the Sony ecosystem. I do have the FX5 on pre-order. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I'm just saying all this to say I'm very familiar with S-Log files and their latitude, dynamic range, what they can do, what they can't do. And then we got 10-bit 422 internal recording, which is great. That's a great image, what I just described. And then let's talk on recording. So we got DCI 4K, and then we got the UHD 4K. Now, here's where it gets a little choppy for me. We got up to 60 FPS in 4K, and then we have up to 180 FPS in full HD. That's a drawback. I'm not gonna dig into that right now today. For the higher frame rate shots or shot sequences, I will default to a different camera for those in my workflow. But just know that, that's a little bit of a con. We'll just throw that out there. Let's see. Autofocus. So we got the fast hybrid autofocus, 561 phase detection autofocus points. It's got the face detection. It is what it is. On a camera like this, I assume most of the folks I'm talking to here, you're shooting on cine lenses, manual primes, manual zooms, whatever. So when it comes to autofocus, the only thing that I'm using autofocus for this camera is going to be talking head interviews that I'm shooting solo, just so I don't have to worry about, pulling focus the whole time. So my point is, I'm not too concerned with 6-year-old autofocus. I could talk about the autofocus in my Pixis 6K that I just sold. I could talk about the autofocus in the Z8. I could talk about autofocus in a lot of other non-Sony cameras. And I can tell you that when it comes to detecting the face, this 6-year tech is significantly better than more modern tech on different cameras. And how do I know that? Because I've shot a lot of them. So that's autofocus. And then let's talk about the stuff that I really care about. So we got built-in V&Ds. That's so important to me. I really care about that. Shooting those 4 documentaries void of the internal V&Ds the last 90 days was hell to tell the captain. I'm telling you, it was not fun. And so that's part of the reason why I was like, guys, I got to go get something with some internal V&D. We got SDI out. I think it's 2 SDI. Yeah, we got 2 SDI out ports. We got HDMI as well. We got timecode in and out, gen lock, dual XLR audio, which is, guys, my goodness, dual XLR. And then we got the 12G SDI, Ethernet, plugins, and then this spec says Wi-Fi. I don't even know what that means. Probably for some kind of broadcasting, live broadcasting. CF Express Type B, XQDs. Dual CF Express Type B? I did not know it had that. I thought it was just XQD. Okay, anyways, there's no IBIS. All right, so guys, look, here's the deal. Let's talk about what you guys really care about. So there's 2 things I want to cover. I was going to make 2 separate videos, potentially FX5 video, and then this video. I might merge them, who knows. But here's the deal. So when I made the decision to buy this FX9, I knew that the FX5 was on the horizon. I was like, do I want to buy the FX9? Do I want to wait for the FX5? I did both. I placed a pre-order on the 5, copped the FX9, and why? Why did I do this? Guys, when we shot this on the most recent project that I did, when I got the files into post, and we dropped a grade on the Venice, and then we dropped a grade on the FX9 for the talking head. Again, mind you, it was lit. It was a controlled setting, so we were able to block and neg fill and then add some light in, but we didn't have a lot of light, so it wasn't like a crazy Hollywood production. We had a key light, we blocked some stuff out, and the image is beautiful. It's just, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful image. I'm looking at a Venice 2 image on my computer, and I'm looking at this FX9 on my computer side by side. You literally cannot tell the difference. So then what? So then where's the like other $90,000 come in from this going up to the Venice? Well, the 8K RAW, the sensor on the Venice, the dynamic range, all that stuff that we could get into. But when you're just looking at an image on a video that's going to be delivered to like YouTube or some kind of streaming service, it's beautiful. I love it. Okay, so the image, it checks the box. Internal V&Ds, guys, checks the box. I don't have to get into it. XLR support, checks the box, don't have to get into it. Timecode in and out, it's all built in right here. 4-channel audio built in right here. It's just all right here. I can hook this thing onto an easy rig. I can run and gun it. I can build it out. I can stick it on my shoulder. I can put the EVF on here. Mind you, it's an older EVF, but it is what it is. I can do that right there. Guys, it's just such a good camera. Now let's talk price. So check this out. If you're not new here, then you know, which mind you, guys, look, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys can, every one of you that watches this video, I'm at 300 subscribers. So if 700 of you hit that button, we're at 1,000 subscribers. When the video drops, like help throw another human being a bone. You can change a life today. Change your boy's life. All right. If you're not new here, then you know that I bought the Pixis 6K, shot 3 projects on that. It's an unbelievable camera. It's beautiful. The image is, I would say it's up there with almost anything that I've shot. It is just splendid. However, there were some layout things I just didn't love when I was as run and gun as I was. The layout was just weird. I could get into that. And then I'm not so concerned with the file size, 6K RAW, whatever. Guys, I've been shooting RAW for a while, so I have the storage capability for that, so I wasn't too worried about that. It was really just the layout and then the lack of internal ND. And then the Pixis did get autofocus, excuse me, like the last couple weeks that I bought it, they rolled out officially the autofocus. It just wasn't there. I use the autofocus only on talking heads. If I had any real motion in the camera, the autofocus was choppy, so it just wasn't super reliable for me. So the layout of the Pixis, the lack of internal V&Ds and the autofocus it just wasn't enough for me to keep it. And then when I hit the internet, I was gonna buy FX6 and I went on Facebook Marketplace. Guys, I wasn't even thinking about the FX9 at all. It just wasn't even a concern of mine. Didn't think about it, but I saw FX9 selling for like sub $5,000. Whole packages, like whole built out packages, battery, media, everything included, top handle, plates, everything for like 4,700, 4,800. This right here I bought for 5,000. And That's just insane. That's insane that you get this much horsepower for like right below $5,000. So I pulled the trigger on this, and I'm super stoked, guys. So there's that. Now I know what some of you guys are going to argue, because I argued this myself. I was like, look, my Pixis I got for, I don't remember the exact price. It was in the 2000s. 6K internal raw 12-bit. I got all that in a cinema body for less than $3,000. So I know what a lot of you guys are going to say is like, Marcus, you can get all these other cameras for half the price. I know that, but here's the catch, guys. If you're like me and you're really always buying, selling, and trading camera bodies, you got to have camera bodies that hold residual, or they hold their after market value. You have to. With the FX9, guys, look, it came out retail at $10,000. 6 years later, it's half the price. This FX9 has not moved off of $5,000 in a long time. That Pixis that I bought, I don't remember the price, but the Pixis, I've seen Pixis selling for 27, 28, 2,900 bucks on like Marketplace. If you go to MPB right now and you try to sell them a Pixis in excellent condition, they're going to buy it from you for $1,800. So for me, that makes a huge difference. When I everything I buy, I go on MPB and I look. I just got to look at what those big buyers are buying and selling things for. And I got to look at the delta between what they're going to buy my crap for and what they're going to turn around and sell it for. And I need the lowest spread humanly possible for me when I'm looking at cameras that I'm going to buy and I'm going to keep. So that's important to me. I don't want a huge discrepancy between like the Marketplace prices and then MPB prices. So anyways, I pulled the trigger on the FX9 just because it holds its value so well. And then when you start to get into stuff like rentals, larger productions, media houses, that kind of thing, guys, everyone wants a Sony. It just is what it is. I was going to say I don't understand it, but I really do understand it. We don't have to get into it. Everyone wants a Sony. Like no one wants me to show up on a set with a Blackmagic 6K. No one that's paying anything worth it for the project. They're going to want a Sony. These days, to be honest with you guys, people get a little wigged out even with red cameras. Like, I don't know. So there's that. I love this camera. Now let me round this out. Why am I telling you all this? So I have a pre-order in on the FX5. I'm going back and forth on if I want to keep the pre-order or cancel it. And I'm probably going to do a different video about this. But I'll tell you this, guys. For a YouTuber of my size, like when I go onto YouTube and I try to look at other camera review channels when they're really large, and then like the FX5 releases, and then everyone does a video on the FX5, I just, it gets a little hard for me to kind of sort through all the minutia. So I'm telling you this because if you throw me a subscription, guys, I'm going to get that FX5 in, and I'm going to, unless I cancel it. I hate to bait and switch you. I think I'll get it in. I'm going to give you my honest review. I got some Venice footage that I will do a side-to-side comparison. Obviously, it won't be shot in the same settings or in the same scenes, etc. But I have some Venice footage that I'll do some comparisons for with you guys. And then I'm just telling you this because I want you to know, like, I'm going to give you my real honest opinion. I don't have any sponsors that I have to pander to or whatever. So throw you boys a subscription. I just got the FX9. I'm going to build this thing out, and then I'll roll out another video of it fully built. We'll dig into this. Hopefully at some point I'll show you guys a talking head that we did on the FX9 with the Venice. So I got a lot of footage and a lot of videos coming out on this. We're moving. That's why there's no furniture behind me. I'm moving houses. I'm super busy. I got a bunch of films to edit. And I just was like, I got to get a video out to my camera nerds. So here we go. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. As always, Bubba Stills, over and out.